So there's a very special part of our tribute now to a gentleman, and I won't ask you to look at your program book just yet, but to hold for a few minutes. The individual that we recognize tonight has been a force for good in the New Hampshire Bar Foundation for many years. I know many of you will agree that part of the beauty of living in New Hampshire is to take advantage of the wonderful natural resources that we have. For example, the strength of the Merrimack River comes to mind. It has powered our mills and industry. It has left an indelible impression on our landscape, all because we recognize the river's strength and the river's endurance. I share these reflections with you tonight because we honor a leader in our community tonight who I submit, like the Merrimack River, is our own natural phenom. He is to the New Hampshire Bar a monument of strength, endurance, and the architect of a lasting legacy. How? Through his strength, I can attest to his unending capacity to work through hundreds and hundreds of meetings, thousands of hours preparing and planning, and always participating in countless efforts to advance the work of the foundation. He has a gift, and the gift is that he can group us all together to support a mission that he believes in so strongly and so deeply. Many of us are in this room tonight because of his effort, because of his vision, and because of his passion. He is a leader in raising funds for civil legal services for the disadvantaged, and he is a champion of civics education. His endurance. For more than 16 years, he has served over 2 terms as chair of the New Hampshire Bar Foundation. He has made a real difference. And for those of us who give to our communities and become involved in organizations, we know that the prize for endurance is the ability to make a difference. He has formed a formidable legacy. Last year, the New Hampshire Bar Foundation IOLTA program benefited more than 16,000 citizens in the state of New Hampshire. In the course of the IOLTA program, that program has raised and dispersed more than $35 million to support the citizens of our state. And under the mantle of his leadership, we're proud to say that New Hampshire leads the nation in securing a premium yield on IOLTA revenues. I would suggest to you that to enrich the lives of strangers is a grand legacy. And I would also suggest that to enrich the lives of so many attorneys, as a mentor, as a friend, is also a grand legacy. I'm among those who have been witness to his exemplary service and to the accomplishments made by our honoree. And so, with your help tonight, and in the presence of all of you, I'm going to ask this individual who has, with his strength and with his endurance, set a lasting legacy for all of us. Please stand and give a round of applause to Jack Middleton. Before we welcome Jack to the podium, Justice James Bassett is here from the New Hampshire Supreme Court. He's the liaison to the Bar Foundation, and I'd ask him to step up and help us out.
It's difficult, if not impossible, to add to what Jim has said about Jack's incredible contributions to the New Hampshire bar and to the New Hampshire community. And I promised Jim that I wouldn't speak for long, a minute or two. But when the court found out that Jack was going to get this recognition tonight, we immediately asked for an opportunity to speak to you all. We asked Jack when Chief Justice Lynn was with us last month to come and join us for lunch at the court because we wanted to express our great appreciation to Jack for everything that he's done. So the things that Jim just said and the things that I would recognize in terms of Jack's contribution to not just the bar and not just the Bar Foundation, but to the state of New Hampshire are things that Jack's already heard from us, but we wanted to make sure that you knew that we had expressed that to Jack. We wanted to express it publicly. And I've had the pleasure for the last 7 years to be on the foundation board and witness Jack's leadership and his transition over to Jim in terms of the leadership of the foundation. And Jack's been a great leader and a great mentor. I also had the great honor to litigate with Jack, and he was a formidable foe, a worthy opponent, and what we would all hope to have in opposing counsel in New Hampshire and what makes New Hampshire special. So I can't really add to what Jim has said, except that the court wanted to publicly, again, express its appreciation to Jack, and I personally want to thank him for his leadership and his friendship and his mentorship of so many people here in the room, generations of lawyers in New Hampshire that are better off because of Jack Middleton. So thank you very much, Jack.
Speak.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I think that was all very, very generous and way too generous, and thank you very much. As you all know better than I, that organizations like the Bar Foundation aren't run by one person, and I'm indebted to the directors and the staff for everything that they've done over the years. And if Jim said I could speak for a minute, let me just do a little bit of a commercial. The Bar Foundation runs as slim as it possibly could. We have one employee, Alicia, who was just standing there. That's it. One employee, and we get some help from the Bar Foundation, the Bar Association, and that's our expense side. This is very, very, very slim. Couldn't be slimmer, frankly. On the other side, we get money out of banks through the IOLTA program. And the IOLTA program doesn't just run itself. There's a lot of bookkeeping and things like that has to be done. But most importantly, what I wanted to say to you is that we work very hard to work with the banks to get them to pay us more interest than they want to. That's our objective. The next time you look at your bank statement, notice what you get for interest in your bank account. It is a very small percentage of 1%. Not 1%, but a very small percentage of 1%. We have banks that are paying us 2%, 1.5%, 1%, so forth. And that's the reason that we're able to give away $900,000 this year to very, very needy people in New Hampshire. And the other thing that we do is we raise some money through what we call a legacy program. And lawyers, sometimes judges, leave us money in their wills, bequeath us money, as we say. And we have built up over the years $1,300,000. That money is over at the New Hampshire Charitable Fund, which invests and reinvests it, pays us over the interest, and we use the interest again for that same purpose. So my message to all of you is, please, when you're thinking about places where you'd like to bequeath your vast earned money when you think about the New Hampshire Bar Foundation's legacy program. We need the money, and much more importantly, the citizens of New Hampshire need that money. So thank you all very, very much for.
Enjoy your dinner, and the program will continue after dinner. Thank you.
I'm not speaking.